Okay. So Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I hope my screen is visible, my sound is clear, my video is visible.
Yes, Prabhuji. All perfect.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare
So
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. So we have sloka number 11 today. Okay, so all the sloka, if you see, the slokas are very small and the purports are very nicely written by Prabhupada, describing each and every aspect of the sloka. Okay, so today also sloka is like that. Okay, and Prabhupada will describe that sloka very nicely. So let's start the sloka number 11 and let's start with the Mangalacharan. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितां च नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So let's start. Yes, so Mataji, who will
Yes,
be reading like one by one, you can read.
yes, Prabhuji. Sure. May I start with the shloka, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you. Isopanisad text 11. Vidyam cha avidyam cha yas tadveda ubhayam saha avidyayam mrityum tirtva vidyayam mritam. May I read the synonyms as well, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you. Synonyms. Vidyam, knowledge in fact. Cha and. Avidyam, nescience. Cha and. Ya, a person who. Tat, that. Veda, knows. Ubhayam, both. Saha, simultaneously. Avidyaya, by culture of nescience. Mrityum, repeated death. Tirtva, transcending. Vidyaya, by culture of knowledge. Amritam, deathlessness. Ashnute, enjoys. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So, so we have understood the two words in the previous sloka. Sloka number 9 and 10, we have understood about the Vidya and Avidya. Can anyone tell what in ninth sloka what was Vidya and Avidya, and 10th sloka what was Vidya and Avidya? We have understood that. So yes, anyone who can unmute and tell. Anyone can tell. What was in 10th sloka number 9? What was Vidya and Avidya? And in sloka number 10, what was Vidya and Avidya? Or simply what is Vidya and Avidya? Then we can discuss.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Jaideep Prabhu.
Basically, Vidya and Avidya, if we understand in two contexts, one is that sometimes we read all the religious books and just read them and we don't follow them properly. That is Avidya. Vidya means
Mhm.
once you read the book properly, that's why you should go in a disciplined succession. That Guru should teach you always. He will only give you the actual meaning and understanding of the sculpture which you are reading. That is actual Vidya. And once you realize it, that is Vidya. It's not that something is written in the book and we, according to our wish, try to interpret the things. That is Avidya. This is what I could understand, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Any other answer? Thank you very much, Prabhu Jaideep Prabhu. Alka Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Vidya
Yes,
is
ma'am.
the knowledge and avidya are those who are literate but they do not follow the actual Vidya. So they, even after having understanding of Vidya, so they do the dangerous activities or they are misguided.
Okay. Any other answer?
Hare Krishna.
We have Santosh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Avidya means ignorance, and Vidya is knowledge that is misguided, which is not aimed for self-realization.
Okay, so a little bit close, Prabhu. So in 9th sloka, we have seen that Vidya and Avidya. Avidya means ignorance of the Vidya. Okay, that is called Avidya. Or ignorance and the people who are ignorant and they are involved in sense gratification. That is they are called that is the Avidya part. But Vidya is in 9th sloka. If you see in the 9th sloka, Vidya is the education for the sense gratification. That is what being referred to in the 9th sloka as Vidya. Vidya means education directed towards sense gratification only. And according to that, it is said that avidya is okay. It is bad, but Vidya is far more worse than with avidya. Okay, why? Because avidya being referred in that case, or vidya being referred in that case, is the education for the material sense gratification, education for the sense gratification. Okay, that what we are getting in the today's world. If we go to university, what we are getting, that part is called vidya in that thing. In the sloka number 9, and it said that avidya is far more worse. No, Vidya is far more worse than avidya. Okay, so what we have understood in sloka number 9. But in 10th sloka, we have understood that the actual Vidya or the real Vidya is a spiritual knowledge. Okay, and avidya is ignorant, ignorant person, which we have seen, or the things which was mentioned in the 9th sloka, the ignorant person and the education for the material sense gratification, both are kept in avidya part in sloka number 10. Okay, and real vidya is the spiritual knowledge, what we have understood in the sloka number 10. Okay, so in sloka number 11, if we see only one who can learn the process of nahi-sense, that is the avidya part, and that of the transcendental knowledge side by side, can transcend the influence of the repeated birth and death and enjoy the full blessing of immortality. Okay, so immortality. So this word is being discussed in this sloka. Okay, so immortality. So first we'll discuss what is immortality. Okay, so we have many people have joined now. So we'll ask the question, what do you understand by the word immortality? So we have seen many example like we have the example of Hiranyakashipu, okay, who wanted to become immortal. Okay, so what do you understand by immortality? Okay, so and how it can be achieved, this sloka describes that. So what is the meaning of immortality? Okay, amar hona, hai na? What is amritam? Amrit. Okay, amrit. This is the word deathlessness or immortality is being described. So what is the meaning of amritam or deathlessness or immortality? Yes. Yes, answers. Anyone wants to contribute?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, immorality means a person who doesn't want to die, he wants to live forever and ever. Shashwat, basically.
Okay, so one person who wants to live always. Yes, Santosh Prabhu. You wanted to say something? What is the meaning of immortality? Kalpana Mata is saying want to become eternal. Okay. Okay, so this sloka will discuss about the immortality. So how we can become immortal? You see, only one who can learn the process of nahi-sense and the transcendental knowledge, both. See, we are in this material world. We need to take care of this body also. Okay. So we need material education also, and we need spiritual education. Both is needed. Okay. So one who can learn the process of nascence and that of the transcendental knowledge side by side, both, not only learning. Okay. So two things are there. Okay. So one who can learn. So there is word called learn. Okay. So what is the meaning of learn? Learning means um learning is education plus experience. That is the meaning of learning. Okay. So when we have education and we experience that education, then that is called learning. Okay. So one who can learn the process of nascence and that of the transcendental knowledge side by side, both the material education as well as the spiritual education side by side, can transcend the influence of repeated birth and death and enjoy the full blessing of immortality. This sloka is very deep. Okay. Like if you see the karmis, what the karmis are doing, okay, they are fully engaged in the process of nascence only. Okay, fully engaged in the process of nascence. Okay, and what the jnani does, everything is like the temporary. These things are temporary. Leave these things doesn't have any meaning. Okay, so we are atma, so let's concentrate on atma part only, leave the material part. Okay, so that they are thinking. Okay, they are neglecting the process of nascence, and they are fully concentrating on the transcendental side. Okay, that is that they are doing in one way. Okay, so actually that is also the transcendental only, but the thing is that is not natural. Okay, karmis, they are doing this process of nascence only. Okay, that is also that is fully material only. Okay, so karmis, they are doing the process of nascence only, that's why that is fully material. Jnanis, they are doing the transcendental knowledge part, they are engaged in this transcendental knowledge part, but that is also, that is not material, that is transcendental, but that is not natural. Okay, that is not natural. We cannot neglect this body and just fully concentrate on the spiritual being. Because we have body, we have to take care of this body also. Okay, so both things are important, but the bhakti, in the bhakti mark, you have to take care of both. Okay, so process of nascence and that of the transcendental knowledge side by side, both we have to take care. Okay, so one who can learn the process of nascence and that of the transcendental knowledge side by side can transcend the influence of repeated birth and death and enjoy the full blessing of immortality. Amrit. Okay, so generally the concept is Amrit is like something like some drink is there, and if we drink that, it will immortal. Okay, this material body or the mortal body, you can say mortal body, will become immortal. That is totally false. Okay, we cannot become immortal. This body is mortal only. Okay, this cannot become immortal. But how we can become immortal? Okay, if we are trying to become immortal with this material body which is mortal, then we cannot become. Okay, we cannot become. So material things cannot make us immortal. That is one concept. Okay, with this material body we cannot become immortal. Okay, it may seem like Brahmaji is there. Okay, his lifespan is way too much than ours. Okay, if you consider a mosquito whose life is like 10 days, and if mosquito consider our life like so many days, our life is there. Okay, so many years life is there. So for a mosquito it may appear like our life is like immortal, very long life. But for us, our life has some certain limit is there. We can understand. So similarly, we may think that Brahmaji's life is so long. Okay, but for Brahma, the certain lifespan is there. 100 years lifespan is there. Okay, so that is the thing. So with this material body, we may think that that person is immortal, that person is immortal, but everyone is mortal in this material world. Okay, whatever, however things you may have, whatever things you may have, you cannot become immortal. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, So we'll be discussing, or Prabhupada will be discussing about the immortality. What is immortality and what is real immortality in this sloka? Okay, and we need both. Okay, this also line is very significant, that we need the process of naissance and that of transcendental knowledge both side by side. Only Gyan or only Karma Yoga doesn't qualify for the real spiritual progress. Okay, we need both side by side. Okay, so that was the thing, which is the meaning of this sloka. Let's understand the sloka more in more depth through the purports of Prabhupada. So we'll read the purport given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yes, Kalpana Mataji has already raised the hand. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Since the creation of the material world, everyone has been trying to attain a permanent life, but the laws of nature are so cruel that no one has been able to avoid the hand of death. No one wants to die, nor does anyone wants to become old or diseased. The law of nature, however, does not allow anyone immunity from old age, disease, or death, nor has the advancement of material knowledge solved these problems. Material science can discover the nuclear bomb to accelerate the process of death, but it cannot discover anything that can protect man from the cruel hands of old age, disease, and death. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So this paragraph mainly focuses that material things cannot give us immortality. Okay. Everyone has been trying to attain a permanent life. We want a permanent life in this material world. Okay. Many people we have seen that they want to become immortal. Permanent life. That is their natural tendency. They don't want to change the body. They don't want to change the body. Okay. So with material body, they want to become immortal. With material body or mortal body, they want to become immortal. So that is impossible. That is what Prabhupada is saying. Since the creation of material world, everyone is trying to become trying to attain a permanent life, but the law of nature is so cruel. That is the law. We cannot become immortal with this material or mortal body. That no one has been able to avoid the hand of death. No one wants to die, but nor does anyone want to become old or disease. But law of nature, however, does not allow anyone immunity from disease, old age, and death, nor as the advancement. This is one more line. Okay, Prabhupada will be hammering this line again and again. Nor has the advancement of material knowledge, that is avidya, solve these problems. Okay. The real problem of human life. If we see the Bhagavad Gita, what is the real problem of human life? Or what is the real problem with this material life? The real problem is birth, death, old age, and disease. Okay. Can we conquer any of these things with our material knowledge? No, we cannot. Okay. Birth, we cannot stop. Death, we cannot stop. Old age, we cannot stop. Disease, it may seem that many discoveries or many drugs or many things we are discovering so that we can stop the disease. But if we see the hospitals are like they're getting filled day by day, more and more they are getting filled. The more hospitals we open, more disease is there. How these things are happening? So we are not able to stop the disease. Okay. Earlier, some different disease were there. Now we have we try to stop those disease. Now the different disease process has appeared. Okay. Earlier, the infectious disease used to be so much. Now the non-infectious disease, diabetes, hypertension, these non-infectious diseases are increasing. Okay. So we are not able to stop. So the thing is, the real problem of human life or the material life is birth, old age, disease, and death. And all these things we are not able to stop with the advancement of material knowledge. So nor has the advancement of material knowledge solved these problems. We are not able to stop, or we are unable to stop these things through our material knowledge, or however advancement is there in the material life, we won't be able to stop these things. Okay. And moreover, Prabhupada says that we are discovering things which is fastening these processes. Okay, like nuclear bomb. Nuclear bomb is there, so you drop the nuclear bomb, the death will be very fast and okay. So very fast and that's like that. So many things. So many um, um, adulterated food, vegetables are there, okay, which is causing fastening the disease process. Okay, so these things are there. So we cannot stop these things, but whatever advancement is there, that is more or that is fastening the processes. Okay, so that is the thing. So the second paragraph, third paragraph, fourth paragraph, every paragraph of few paragraph, 1/4 or 1 to 4th paragraph will be discussing the same concept. The concept is with material body, we cannot become immortal. Okay, immortality doesn't come with the material body. Okay, so we'll read the second paragraph. Yes.
Bhagyalakshmi Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, Hare
The
Krishna.
second and
Yes,
third paragraph discusses about the Hiranyakashipu. So Mataji, you can read second and third paragraph both.
from the Purana, I will start.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, thank you. From the Puranas, we learn of the activities of Hiranyakashipu, a king who was very much advanced materially, wanting to conquer cruel death by his material acquisition and the strength of his nations. He underwent a type of meditation so severe that the inhabitants of all the planetary systems become disturbed by his mystic powers. He forced the creator of the universe, the demigod Brahma, to come down to him. He then asked Brahma for the benediction of becoming Amara, by which one does not die. Brahma said that he could not award the benediction because even he, the material creator who rules all planets, is not Amar. As confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 8.17, Brahma lives a long time, but that does not mean he is immortal. Hiranya means gold and Kasyapu means soft bed. This cunning gentleman Hiranyakashipu was interested in these two things, money and women, and he wanted to enjoy them by becoming immortal. He asked from Brahma many benedictions in hopes of indirectly fulfilling his desire to become immortal. Since Brahma told him that he could not grant the gift of the immortality, Hiranyakashipu requested that he not be killed by any man, animal, god, or any other living beings within the 84 lakh species. He also asked that he not die on land, in the air, or water, or by any weapon. In this way, Hiranyakashipu foolishly thought this guarantee would save him from the death. Ultimately, however, although Brahma granted him all this benediction, he was killed by personality of Godhead in the form of Nrsimha, the Lord's half lion, half man incarnation, and no weapon was used to kill him, for he was killed by the Lord's nail, nor was he killed on the land, in the air, or in the water, for he was killed on the lap of that wonderful living beings, Nrsimha, who was beyond his conception. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Okay, so this is the story of Hiranyakashipu. Okay, so so if you see, the Prabhupada is giving the example of Hiranyakashipu. So Prabhupada says Hiranya means gold and Kashipu means soft bed. Okay, so Hiranyakashipu was the most powerful demon at that time, most powerful demon. Okay, so he did many tapasyas and he tried to become immortal. Okay, so he has the boon, like he can ask, like if Brahmaji was there, Brahmaji can give him anything. Okay, and he wanted to enjoy the gold and he wanted to enjoy the woman, like money and woman. Okay, like that is our mentality in today's world. If you see, where is Hiranyakashipu? Where is Hiranyakashipu? Everyone is of us is like Hiranyakashipu. We wanted to enjoy in this material world with money, with women. Okay, so that is the Hiranyakashipu part. So every one of us is like Hiranyakashipu here. Okay, and imagine a situation where like you have been given a grant or boon, like you can ask anything, like Hiranyakashipu got, you can ask anything. Okay, so imagine a thing, imagine a situation where you are in this material world and you have a boon that from Brahmaji you can ask anything. Okay, so Hiranyakashipu asked for immortality. So Brahmaji told that I am not immortal. Okay, I am also mortal being only. So how can I give you immortality? So you ask anything other than that. So he thought that I am asking for immortality only. He asked different permutation and combination, that I should not be killed by this, that, and those things. And he thought that I am immortal. Okay. So even the greatest person, or even the most wealthiest person, or even the most powerful person cannot become immortal in this material world. So the point is, even the greatest person or most powerful person cannot become immortal. How can we become immortal? Okay, we are trying to find the immortality in the mortal things. Immortality we are trying to find from the mortal things. That's why this conception is very this concept is very very vague. We cannot become immortal with the mortal things. Okay, so now coming to the question, that if Brahmaji comes to you and whatever you want to ask, whatever things you want to enjoy, or whatever things you want, you can ask. Okay, so what we will be asking you, what things can you think of that will give you the enjoyment in this material world, or the immortality? What things can give you? Nothing can give. Whatever things in this material world Brahmaji can give you, imagine that thing, and ask what things is there in your conception. You ask, okay, so Brahmaji will give you. Okay, so whatever things you ask, whatever things you will ask from this material world, it won't give you immortality, or it won't give you the happiness, or it won't give you satisfaction. Okay, when money comes to a person becomes crazy. When a person has money, he becomes crazy. He is full of ego. Imagine situation in our world. Okay, if a person gets money, he become crazy, and he start doing more crazier things. Okay, he thinks that I can do anything and everything. Okay, and he will start doing craziest thing. Okay, so money is also a very bad thing in this material world. If we have too much money, people become crazy and they start doing crazy things. Okay, so that is the thing. So Hiranyakashipu is our representative. Okay, so Hiranyakashipu was representing us, and we are representing Hiranyakashipu in today's world. Okay, he was very big Hiranyakashipu. Imagine, he was like original Hiranyakashipu. We are like small part of Hiranyakashipu. Okay, we also want the same thing. Hiranyakashipu also wanted the same thing. But remember that anything in this material world cannot give you happiness or immortality. Okay. Okay, so imagine, or you try to imagine anything. Like, I'll give you half seconds or half minute. Imagine a thing which will give you the total happiness in this material world. Okay, imagine half second, half minute. Okay, think of anything which can give you the total happiness in this material world, or material thing only. Are you able to think anything which can give you total happiness? Yes or no?
No, Prabhuji.
No,
Nothing.
Prabhuji.
Nothing can give. Okay. So thing is like that. So anything material, the Prabhupada also wants to raise the point that anything material cannot give you happiness in this material world. Okay. So from where the mortality and the happiness concepts are coming, let's see. Let's read further and understand. So the whole point, Prabhupada is summarizing the concept, that whole point here is that even Hiranyakashipu, the most powerful materialist, could not become deathless by his various plans. What then can be accomplished by tiny Hiranyakashipu of today, whose plans are thwarted from moments to moments? Okay, so a small part. We are like tiny Hiranyakashipu. Everyone. It is not like I am or you are or other person. No, anyone is not getting pointed here. Everyone is like tiny Hiranyakashipu of today. Okay. So like that, our concept, our desires are like that. Like we want to enjoy this material world without Lord. Okay. Like that. Then next, from here, you can read.
Mamta Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. The whole point, Prabhuji, from there, right?
Shri Isopanisad.
Shri Upanishad, okay. Shri Upanishad instruct us not to make one-sided attempt to win the struggle for existence. Everyone is struggling hard for the existence, but the law of material nature are so hard and fast that they do not allow anyone to surpass them. In order to attain a permanent life, one must be prepared to go back to Godhead.
Okay. So here Prabhupada is giving the hint. What is immortality? Okay. So in first two lines again Prabhupada is saying that this material world cannot make you immortal. Law of nature. That is law of nature. Struggling hard for existence, but law of nature is so hard and fast that they do not allow anyone to surpass them. So if you want to become immortal, in order to attain the permanent life, one must be prepared to go back to God. Okay. So spiritual thing, the concept is, Prabhupada is again trying to point, the concept is immortality comes, or we become immortal when we attach ourselves to the spiritual conception. Actually, we are immortal. We are not mortal. This body is mortal, but we are not this body. We are the soul, and we actually are immortal. Okay. So when we attach ourselves or the immortal part of ourselves, or when we attach ourselves, or we are the immortal things, we are the immortal. So when we attach ourselves to the immortal things, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is immortal, then we feel that the immortality. When we attach ourselves to this bodily concept, this material thing, or the mortal things only, we think that we are mortal. Okay, so that is the thing. So Prabhupada says that in order to attain the permanent life, one must be prepared to go back to Godhead. The immortality come from here. Spiritual things can give you immortality. Material things cannot give you. So first few the paragraph Prabhupada explains that material life cannot give you immortality. And now Prabhupada will be pointing out that immortality comes from the spiritual things. Okay, spirituality. Yes. Next paragraph.
The process by which one goes back to the Godhead is a different branch of knowledge, and it has to be learned from the revealed Vedic scriptures such as Upanishads, Vedanta Sutra, Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagavatam. To become happy in this life and attain a permanent blissful life after this material body, one must study the sacred literature and obtain transcendental knowledge. The conditioned living being has forgotten his internal relationship with the God and has mistakenly accepted the temporary place of his birth as all in all. The Lord has kindly delivered the above mentioned scripture in India and other scripture in other countries to remind the forgetful human being that his home is not here in this material world. The living being is a spiritual entity and he can be happy only by returning to his spiritual home.
Okay. So we think ourselves as the material body and we try to enjoy in this material world, then we are unhappy. But the moment the living entity, we understand that we are a spiritual entity and we can be happy only by returning to the spiritual home. Only by returning to the spiritual home. In this material world, we cannot become happy. Okay. This material world cannot give you happiness. Only when we understand our real identity, that we are a spiritual being and we attach ourselves to the spirituality, then only we can enjoy the happiness. Then only we can feel the immortality. Okay. So that is the thing. So different branches are there. Okay, different branches of knowledge are there. Vedic scripture like Upanishad, Vedanta, Sutra, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, many things are there. Why these things are there? So that we can understand our real identity. We are filled or we are surrounded by the people who are fully material. Then if we are in their contact, what will happen? We'll forget our real identity. We'll think that we are this material being only. We'll think that this material identity is our real identity. But when we read the Shastra, when we read the Lord's instruction, then we understand that what is our real nature, what is our real purpose. Okay, and actually we are frustrated. Actually, we are frustrated. Okay, we as an immortal being trying to find the immortality in this material world. Okay, we as an immortal being trying to find the immortality in the material world. That's why we are frustrated. Okay, so when the immortal being is attaching himself to the immortality, that is the spirituality, then only the frustration will go and happiness will come. Okay, so that is the thing. So that is the cause of frustration, because we are trying to find the immortality, the happiness in the material world. Okay. Yeah, next one.
Alka Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
From his kingdom, the personality of Godhead sends his bona fide servants to propagate this message by which one can return to Godhead. And sometimes the Lord comes himself to do this work. Since all living beings are his beloved sons, his parts and parcels, God is more sorry than we ourselves to see the sufferings we are constantly undergoing in this material condition. The miseries of this material world serve to indirectly remind us of our incompatibility with dead matter. Intelligent living entities generally take note of these reminders and engage themselves in the culture of Vidya or transcendental knowledge. Human life is the best opportunity for the culture of spiritual knowledge, and the human being who does not take advantage of this opportunity is called a Naradhama, the lowest of human beings. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So you see here the miseries of material will serve as a indirectly remind us of our incompatibility with that matter. Okay. So in the previous sloka, we have learned that this body is the bad bargain. Why it is bad bargain? Because if you see this body, the material body, it is meant for misery only. And we have accepted, we think that this will give us happiness, but actually this is mainly giving us misery. Okay. If you see that, okay, some happiness will be there, but more distress will be there. If some gain is there, more loss is there, that is a bad bargain. Yes. So if we go to a shop and we buy a thing, like the thing is of 50 rupees and we pay 50,000 rupees for that thing, and we took that thing, 50 rupees thing, that is a bad bargain. So this material body is also bad bargain. Why? Because we thought of happiness and we are getting the distress. Okay. The duration of happiness is very less and the duration of distress is more. Okay. If like small happiness is there, then it will be very small period of time. Duration of happiness will be very small, but the duration of distress will be very large. Yes. So distress will be more than the happiness. That's why it is a bad bargain. Okay. The intensity of distress is more than the intensity of happiness. The duration of distress is more than the duration of happiness. We feel more distress, intense distress, than the intensity of the happiness. Okay. So duration of happiness is less than the duration of distress. The intensity of the duration is more. The intensity of the distress is more than the intensity of happiness. The extent of this happiness is less than the extent of distress. So extent is also more. So variety of distress is there. Okay. So if you see this is a bad bargain actually. So we are getting the desired things very less, and we are getting the undesired thing, unnatural things as very large result. Like we give some tablets to a person. Okay. So every tablets will have, like every medicine, every drugs will have certain side effects. Okay. So side effects will be there. So effect will be there and side effect will be there. Both will be there. So if any drug is having or any medicine is having the effect which is more than the side effect, then we use the medicine. Okay. And if the side effects are more and the effect is very small, then that is like a poison. Okay. Poison will also have certain medicinal property, but that poison is more dangerous and little bit helpful. Okay. So that's why that is a poison. Medicines, they have certain desired effects are there and small effects will be there which are like poisonous. So they act like medicine. Okay. So if we take like poison in the disease condition, that will be more poisonous, that will be more dangerous. So that will be bad bargain. So this body is also bad bargain because the duration, intensity, extent of the distress is more than the happiness. That's why it is a bad bargain. Okay. So the miseries in this material world will be there. So distress will be there. Intensity is more. Okay. And why it is more and why? Because this is not our permanent home. Because this is not our real nature. Because this is not the place where we can find the immortality. And Lord, remind us through this material world. It is said that miseries in this material world, of this material world, serves to indirectly remind us of our incompatibility with the dead matter. This dead matter is not meant for us. Okay, we are not meant for this dead matter. That's why whether we are trying to find happiness, whether we want to, whatever we want to try to find, will get the distress only. Okay. And there is no immortality. Okay. So that is the thing. So it is again said that God is more sorry than ourselves to see the suffering and see the suffering we are constantly undergoing in this material condition. That's why he's reminding to different things. Okay. And one more thing, human life is best opportunity for the culture of spiritual knowledge. And a human who is wasting this life is called Naradama. Okay. Naradama, he's killing himself, like he's taking the poison himself. Okay. If you have the human life and you are not taking advantage of it, that means you are like doing the suicide. Okay. Even after knowing, some people they are not able to follow, even after knowing that this is the real thing we need to follow. Okay. Some people will be like that, they will be knowing and they will be following. So that is the one part. Second part, some people will be there who won't be knowing. Okay, who are not in contact with the spiritual people or the devotees or the spiritual books. Okay, totally ignorant. They are in the contact with the material persons only. They are in contact with the demoniac kind of people only. They do not know. They are another kind. And third kind is the people who know what is the purpose of human life, who is Radha and Krishna, and what is our purpose of the human form of life. But still, after knowing, they are so much attached to the material thing that they are not able to follow the spiritual thing. Now we fall on that kind of people only. Okay, we have understood, we have known that what is our purpose of life. We have known about Radha Krishna. We know that what we have to do, but we are so much attached to the material things that we are not able to follow the spiritual path, which is shown by the Shastra, by the Acharya, by the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by our previous Acharya. So we fall in that category. We're so much attached to the material thing that we are not able to follow. Okay. Unfortunate. Naradam. So Naradam, we are like, okay. Even after knowing, we are not able to follow. Huh? Unfortunate condition. We are in like unfortunate condition. So we need to more take shelter of the devotees. We need to take shelter of our spiritual master. We need to hear them again and again and realize what is the real purpose of our human life. We need to listen to them again and again. We need to associate with the devotee and try to see how they are following, why they are following, how they are so much form in their spiritual life. Okay, so we need to hear them, we need to understand that thing, we need to serve them, and we need to ask them. Okay, so processes are there, like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevya. We have to serve our spiritual master, and we have to ask our spiritual inquiries, and we have to Tadvidhi pranipatena, we have to surrender. Okay, so we have to surrender, we have to ask a spiritual inquiry, and we have to serve them. Okay, so this is the process of understanding the knowledge. So we know what is the purpose, we know all the things, we know all the literature. Okay, till now we have known many things. Okay, sometimes we may have doubt how these things can happen, how that thing can happen. Okay, that thing sometimes arise in our mind. Okay, because we are so much contaminated, because we are so much attached to the material things, that even after learning so many things about the spiritual life, sometimes we may doubt, okay, that these things will happen or not, these things are correct or not, who says that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Lord. Okay, like that it may seem. Okay, everyone will have certain doubts. That these things can come as a doubt in the early days. Okay, so these things will come. Okay, so in that situation, we need to go to our seniors, and we need to ask this type of things are arising. Okay, so naturally these doubts will come in when we are new in the devotion, when we don't know about the spiritual life. Our spirituality is like very shallow. We are not at the depth of spirituality. Then these things will come. So what we need to do is we need to ask these questions to our spiritual master, to the senior Vaishnava, to the senior devotees, so that they can, who are firm in their devotion, so that they can dispel these doubts from ourselves. Okay, so that is the thing.
Prabhuji, just
Yes,
a minute.
ma'am.
Incompatibility with dead matter. Dead matter here means?
Dead matter is this material world.
Material. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Yes, who will read?
I'll read, Prabhuji.
Manjula Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
The path of avidya, or advancement of material knowledge for sense gratification, is the path of repeated birth and death. As he exits spiritually, the living entity has no birth or death. Birth and death apply to the outward covering of the spirit soul, the body. Death is compared to the taking off, and birth to the putting on of outward garments. Foolish human beings who are grossly absorbed in the culture of avidya, nescience, do not mind this cruel process. Enamored with the beauty of the illusory energy, they undergo the same miseries repeatedly and do not learn any lessons from the laws of nature. Do you want me to continue, Prabhuji, the next one?
Okay, so you can read next one, Mataji.
Therefore, the culture of Vidya, or transcendental knowledge, is essential for the human being. Sense enjoyment in the diseased material condition must be restricted as far as possible. Unrestricted sense enjoyment in this bodily condition is the path of ignorance and death. The living entities are not without spiritual senses. Every living being in his original spiritual form has all the senses, which are now materially manifested, being covered by the material body and mind. The activities of the material senses are perverted reflections of the activities of the original spiritual senses. In his diseased condition, the spirit soul engages in material activities under the material covering. Real sense enjoyment is possible only when the disease of materialism is removed. In a pure spiritual form, free from all material contamination, real enjoyment of the senses is possible. A patient must regain his health before he can truly enjoy sense pleasure again. Thus, the aim of human life should not be to enjoy perverted sense enjoyment, but to cure the material disease. Aggravation of the material disease is no sign of knowledge, but a sign of avidya, ignorance. For good health, a person should not increase his fever from 105 degrees to 107 degrees, but should reduce his temperature to the normal 98.6. That should be the aim of human life. The modern trend of material civilization is to increase the temperature of the feverish material condition, which has reached a point of 107 degrees in the form of atomic energy. Meanwhile, the foolish politicians are crying that at any moment the world may go to hell. That is the result of the advancement of material knowledge and the neglect of the most important part of life. The culture of spiritual knowledge, Sri Isopanisad herein warns that we must not follow this dangerous path leading to death. On the contrary, we must develop the culture of spiritual knowledge so that we may become completely free from the cruel hands of death. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Krishna. So the real sense of enjoyment is possible only when the disease of materialism is removed. Okay. So that is the immortality or the enjoyment things which we are discussing. That is only possible when we remove this material thing, when we attach ourselves to the spiritual things. Okay. Prabhupada is describing so many conditions. It is for ours for us to understand that this material things cannot give us happiness. This material things cannot give us immortality. Okay. It is only possible when we attach ourselves to our real nature. That is the perspective of Atma. Okay, that is the perspective of the soul. That we are part and parcel of the Supreme Soul, and we have to attach ourselves to the Supreme Soul for the enjoyment of this in this material world. Okay. Like Prabhupada gives the example of the fever. Okay, the normal body temperature is like 98.6, 98.7. Okay, and in the fever condition, the temperature is like 103, 104 degrees the Fahrenheit. Okay. So to bring down the temperature, if we are taking the material advancement example, and we are trying to bring down the temperature to the normal temperature, it will be like contrary. It will increase the temperature to like 107 degrees. Okay. So it is like utilizing this material world for the sense enjoyment and trying to reduce the material enjoyment. Okay, like that. Utilizing this material world for the enjoyment and trying to reduce the enjoyment. Okay, some people may say that if we have too much, if you are too much attached to anything, use that thing to that extent that you started hating that thing. Okay, like that. Okay, like if you love eating gulab jamun, okay, and if I give you like 10 gulab jamun, one gulab jamun if you eat, yeah, it is very tasty. Second, you will say no, I don't want to eat, but still you will be able to eat. Third, you little bit more, like you can eat little bit, like okay, I can eat it, like that. Fourth, fifth, sixth, seven, eight, nine, 10th, like that. If you see that lastly will start hitting. Okay. So the thing is like that. Some people may say that it may happen that utilize the material thing so much that you start hating the material thing, like that. But it didn't happen. Okay, that is Maya. Okay, today you may start hating, but after a few days you will start like hankering, I want to eat that thing. Okay, so like that. So material things cannot give happiness, and utilizing that material things, you cannot negate the things. Okay, so that is the thing. So the best is utilize that material things for the purpose of Krishna consciousness. Utilize that material thing so that you can maintain the body and you can advance spiritually. Okay, so it's little bit like whatever things we have, so utilize that things for the cultivation of spiritual knowledge and dedicate yourself to the spiritual things, like that. Okay, so that is the thing. Yes.
May I, Prabhuji?
Bhagyalakshmi Mataji.
Yes. This does not mean that all activities for the maintenance of the body should be stopped. There is no question of stopping activities, just as there is no question of wiping out one's temperature altogether when trying to recover from a disease. To make the best use of a bad bargain is the appropriate expression. The culture of spiritual knowledge necessitates the help of the body and mind. Therefore, maintenance of the body and the mind is required if we are to reach our goal. The normal temperature should be maintained at 98.6 6 degree, and the great sages and saints of India have attempted to do this by a balanced program of spiritual and material knowledge. They never allow the misuse of human intelligence for sense disease sense gratification. Shall I continue?
So Prabhupada is describing the concept which we have seen, that both knowledge is important and balance is required. Okay, and he says that we should not negate like the material things totally. We cannot negate the material knowledge totally. So we should have the material knowledge as well as spiritual knowledge both. Okay, so balanced program is spiritual and material knowledge. They never allow the misuse of human intelligence for the disease sense gratification. Our senses are material only, and we have to utilize this material senses. We cannot negate, oh, our senses are material, our body is material, we won't use the material things. No, we have to use this material things. That is the bad bargain we have. We have to use this material thing for the best use. And what is the best use? The best use is to understand about our relationship with the Supreme Person. Okay. Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji. Human activities diseased by a tendency towards sense gratification have been regulated in the Vedas under the principle of salvation. This system employs religion, economic development, sense gratification, and salvation. But at the present moment, people have no interest in religion or salvation. They have only one aim in life, sense gratification. And in order to achieve this end, they make plans for economic development. Misguided men think that religion should be maintained because it contributes to economic development, which is required for sense gratification. Thus, in order to guarantee further sense gratification after death, in heaven there is some system of religious observance, but this is not the purpose of religion. The path of religion is actually meant for self-realization, and economic development is required just to maintain the body in a sound, healthy condition. A man should lead a healthy life with a sound mind just to realize vidya, true knowledge, which is the aim of the human life. This life is not meant for working or like an ass or for culturing avidya for sense gratification. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada is speaking about the human activity towards the sense gratification. The Veda describe the four purpose. Na? So dharma, arth, and kama, and moksha. Okay, dharma, religion. Arth means economic development. Sense gratification is kama, and moksha is salvation. Okay. But nowadays, if you see, the main purpose of every human life is kama, or the sense gratification. Okay, sense gratification here in this material world. Okay, so for that sense gratification, what they need to earn money, economic development. So economic development will be there, will have more sense gratification. When we have more money or economically developed, we'll have more nice beds will be there, more nice foodstuffs will be there, everything will be more nicer. Okay, like that. So they want the sense gratification. For that, they need the economic development. Okay. They want sense gratification even after death also. For them, what they follow is religion. Okay. So we'll do something charity, we'll do some good activity, some punya karma we'll do, so that we are enjoying in this life. After life also we want to enjoy. Okay. So the economic development, whatever things is there, we utilize that things for some religious purpose. Religious purpose is limited for them towards like going to temple, giving charity to the schools, like that. So religion also. Okay, so that is the thing, but that is not the real purpose of religion. Religion means for the self realization. Okay, the path of religion is actually meant for self realization, and economic development is required to maintain just the body in sound and healthy condition. Okay, the purpose of economic development is just like that. Okay, to maintain the body in the healthy and sound environment or the sound condition, so that we can understand the vidya. Okay, so that we can understand the vidya or the true knowledge which is aimed for the human life. This life is not meant for working like ass or for culturing avidya for sense gratification. That is what which we are doing. Okay. What we are doing is working like an ass. Okay. Like ass will work from day and night, full day and night. Like that we are working. And second thing is culturing avidya for sense gratification. Different types of degrees. Okay. For sense gratification, different types of degrees. We want this knowledge, we want that knowledge. Why? Because we want sense gratification. These vidyas are actually avidyas. Okay, so that's why Prabhupada is writing here, culturing avidya for the sense gratification. Okay, so this one.
Mamta Mataji?
Yes. Hare Krishna. The path of avidya or advancement of material knowledge for sense gratification is a path of repeated birth and death. As he existed spiritually, the living entity has no birth or death. Birth and death applies to the outward covering of the spirit soul, the body. Death is compared to the taking off and the birth to the putting on the outward garments. The foolish human beings who are grossly absorbed in the culture of avidya nations do not mind this cruel process. Enamored with the beauty of the illusory energy, they undergo the same misery repeatedly and do not learn any lessons from the law of nature. Therefore, the culture of vidya or transcendental knowledge is essential for the human being. Sense enjoyment is not sense enjoyment in the diseased material condition must be restricted as far as possible. Unrestricted sense enjoyment in this bodily condition is a part of ignorance and death. The living entities are not without spiritual senses. Every living being in his original spiritual form has all the senses which are now materially manifested and being covered by the material body and the mind. The activity of the material sense are perverted reflection of the activity of the original spiritual senses. In the diseased condition, the spirit soul engages the material activities under the material covering. The real sense gratification is possible only when the disease of the materialism is removed. In our pure spiritual form, free from all material contamination, the real enjoyment of the sense is possible. A patient must regain his health before he can truly enjoy the sense pleasure again. Thus, the aim of the human life should not be to enjoy the perverted sense enjoyment, but to cure the material disease. Aggregations of the material disease is no sign of knowledge, but a sign of avidya, ignorance. For good health, a person should not increase his fever from 105 degree to 107 degree, but should reduce his temperature to the normal 98.6. That should be the aim of the human life. The modern trend of material civilization is to increase the temperature of the feverish material condition, which has reached the point of 107 degrees in the form of atomic energy. Meanwhile, the foolish politicians are crying that at any moment the world may go to hell. That is a result of the advancement of the material knowledge and the neglect of the most important part of the life, the culture of spiritual knowledge. Shri Isopanisad herein warns that we must not follow the dangerous path leading to death. On the contrary, we must develop the culture of spiritual knowledge so that we may become completely free from the cruel hands of death.
Okay. So yes, next one can read from here.
Should I continue, Babaji?
Any other person can read.
Snigdha Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Mataji, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The path of Vidya is most perfectly presented in Srimad Bhagavatam, which directs a human being to utilize his life to inquire into the absolute truth. The absolute truth is realized step by step as Brahman, Paramatma, and finally Bhagwan, the personality of Godhead. The absolute truth is realized by the broad-minded man who has attained knowledge and detachment by following the 18 principles of the Bhagavad Gita described in the purport to Mantra 10. The central purpose of these 18 principles is the attainment of transcendental devotional service to the personality of Godhead. Therefore, all classes of men are encouraged to learn the art of devotional service to the Lord. The guaranteed path to the aim of Vidya is described by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which we have presented in English as the nectar of devotion. The culture of Vidya is summarized in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1.2.14, in the following words. Tasmad ekena manasa bhagavan sattvavam patihi srotavya kirtavya च कीर्तितव्य च धियाय पूज्यः न नित्यदा. Therefore, with one pointed attention on, one should constantly hear about the glorify, remember, and worship the personality of Godhead, who is the protector of the devotees. Unless religion, economic development, and sense gratification aim towards the attainment of devotional service to the Lord, they are all simply different forms of nations, as Sri Isopanisad indicates in the following mantras. Hare Krishna.
So the final thing is, what we have understood from this sloka is immortality and mortality. We started with immortality and mortality. Okay, so immortality doesn't come with the material things. Immortality will come only if we are attaching ourselves to the spiritualities. Okay, so that we have understood one thing. So that thing is only described. Therefore, with one pointed attention, one should constantly hear. So what we need to do is, with one pointed attention, our focus should be Krishna. Okay, one should constantly hear about, glorify, remember, and worship. Shravan, Kirtan, okay, Vishnu Smaran, Pad Sevanam, okay, Archanam, Vandanam, Dashyam, Shakyam, and Atmanivedanam. So 9 devotional services. So about that only. Constantly hear about, glorify, remember, and worship the personality of Godhead, who is protector of the devotee. Okay. So 9 devotional services are described here. Few are mentioned. Okay. So that is the thing we have understood from this sloka. Okay. So we'll end this sloka discussion here only, because already 8:13 is there. Okay. So today we have Abhirvav Divas of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Okay, so he is Acharya of our beloved His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was his guru. Okay, and if you see, if you read the biography of Srila Prabhupada, if you read the Prabhupada books, which is small condensed biography of Prabhupada, or if you read the Prabhupada Lilamrita, you will understand that whatever Prabhupada has done, he is giving the credit to his Guru Maharaj. And actually, everything, the concepts were started by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, what I have understood. Okay, if you see that Prabhupada had learned many things from his Guru Maharaj, and he tried to fulfill his desires only. Like a proper disciple is who? Who is a proper disciple? A proper disciple is a person who is trying to fulfill his Guru Maharaj's the mission. Okay, Guru Maharaj mission, like Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is called as the Lion Guru. Okay, Lion Guru. He will, like Mayavadis will be like they will be like fearing Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. Such a grand personality, such a bold personality he was. Okay, and he was a chosen one. Okay, even if you see, he was born in Jagannath Puri Dham, and Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, who was his father, okay, his home was in the on the way from the Jagannath temple to the Gundicha temple. So from Jagannath temple to the Gundicha temple, the Rath Yatra festival will go, or the Ratha will go from the Jagannath temple to the Gundicha temple. And when the Rath Yatra festival was going on, okay, the Rath stopped in front of the home of the Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Okay, so Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and it stayed there for 3 days. 3 days it stayed there. So why it stayed there? It is the Lord, whatever Lords he want, wherever he want, he can stay. Okay, so the even the elephants were called. Okay, so that they can pull the ratha, but ratha was not moving. Okay, so after 3 days, so the ratha stopped in front of the house of the Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And when Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his name was in the childhood, his name was Vimla Prasad. Okay, so when he came out with his mother bought Vimla Prasad from his house, and the ratha was stopped. So they um, um, so the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was taken to the Jagannathji, and he grabbed Jagannathji. Okay, he was very small child, and he grabbed Jagannathji. Okay, so when he grabbed, immediately one lotus flower from or the garland from the Jagannath came, and it went to the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Vimla Prasad. So he was a blessed person, and after that point, the Ratha started moving. Okay, so like that. So you can see how much he was connected to the Supreme Lord. It is not that he is an ordinary person. You can see from this past time that he is not an ordinary person. Even Lord stopped in front of his house, and after he came and he had darshan of Lord, then only the Ratha moved. Okay, see, he was like very fierce, and in a small age only he has mastered all the scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Okay, so he will go beyond the boundaries to preach about the Gaudiya Mata. Okay, earlier they are used not to be like sannyasi. They will become like Babaji Maharaj, or they will become like Grihastha. Okay, they will renounce everything. They won't become sannyasi to preach to other people. But Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur became sannyasi. He became sannyasi to preach, and he crossed all the boundary for the preaching. He utilized the concept which is there, that everything should be utilized in Krishna's service, was used by him. Okay, everything. He will use the car. He will use anything and everything. He has the concept of building big temples. Why? Because if you are making a hut, okay, no one will come. You want to preach this mission to the other people. Why everyone will come to the mutt? Okay, no. So he built a nice building, like if you see the ISKCON temples now, the concept is that from there only it came, that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to build big temple, lavish temple with everything. Okay, whatever best thing is available, that will be utilized for building the temple, so that young people also can come, so that other people also can come. Okay, and they can understand the knowledge of the spiritual science. Okay, so like that. So he will use everything and anything in the service of the Supreme Lord. He won't be attached. So the concept is, don't be attached to the material things, but use the material things in the service of Lord. Then you are also sannyasi. Okay, earlier he was criticized by many sannyasi that a sannyasi doesn't use a motor vehicle. Sannyasi doesn't make a houses like that. He was criticized, but he didn't listen to anyone. Okay, because he was formed in the Shastra. He can defeat everyone by using the Shastra. And he gave the example that we can utilize everything in the service of the Supreme Lord without getting attached to that. Okay, that material thing. So he was a perfect example, and Prabhupada utilized that example. Prabhupada utilized that teachings when he started the ISKCON movement. Okay, so many things. Everything, or if you read the biography, you'll understand that whatever concepts Prabhupada had utilized for making the ISKCON very successful, it is taken by his Guru Maharaj. Okay, so his Guru Maharaj mercy only that he is so much successful in preaching the uh, the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the Western people. Okay, actually, his Guru Maharaj only gave him the instruction to preach to the Western people, and utilizing that instruction, he went and he spread this knowledge to the English speaking people, and now we are seeing the whole world is getting benefited with that knowledge. Okay, so that is today his Avirbhav Divas is there. Today only he was born in Odisha. Okay, so like that. So now, if you have any question, we can have the questions. Otherwise, we
So
can.
nice, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, I am from Odisha, and I went now. It become a Gaudiya Matha, his house.
Yes,
It is
the
it is
Gaudiya
on
Matha
the
is
border.
there.
Yes, yes, it is on the border and only main.
Okay.
Very nice. I went, Prabhuji. So nice. I saw.
Mhm. Yeah, it is in the way only when we go from Jagannath Puri to Gundicha. In the
Yes, yes.
middle way
Mm.
only it is there. So you can go,
Yes,
you can spend time there.
yes, Prabhuji.
Very nice deities are there. Gaudiya Matha is there. So you can go
Yes,
there, you can visit there.
yes, Prabhuji. I saw that. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yes. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Kirti Mataji.
Prabhuji, I have a question from actually the previous shlokas, I can say. So, like, we understand that, that material education is just to earn a livelihood, and otherwise, it's just useless in our spiritual progress. But is there any measure, Prabhuji, where, by our own self, can we measure if there is any progress in our spiritual education? And basically, like, for a neophyte, lower than a Kanishta, how can we measure, Prabhuji, this progress? And is it really necessary? In fact, like, do we have to measure our progression or regression by our own self, or maybe with the help of a Shiksha Guru? Is it required?
Okay. So very valid questions is there, Mataji, that they're very practical question. Okay. The thing is, whatever things are necessary to maintain the body, that much economic progress is sufficient. Okay. If you want to maintain the like body, if you if little if like if anything is there or economic development is there, and that economic development is causing more ego to us, that economic development is causing more self egoistic behavior in ourselves, that is increasing our ego, then that is not required actually. And if that much is sufficient, with which we can maintain our body. And if you see the Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur example, if you want to serve Lord by becoming a king, become a king and serve. Okay. But the thing is that will become Maya. Okay. If we think that we'll become a king, then everyone will start whatever we'll do, everyone will start following us like that. Or if we become a big politician and everyone will start following us, then become a politician and preach. But the thing is that is the way Maya makes us think that we'll become a king, then we'll serve the spiritual master or the instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu better. The thing is like that, but that is actually Maya. Whatever things, little bit things is there, with that only we can serve. But so much ambitious we become, like if we become like this, then we'll serve. That is the thing we try to think. Okay, we can do that if our spiritual master says that. Okay, like that Prabhupada was going to Western places, okay, Western world. Prabhupada may think that I may start a Western movement, or may start, I go to Western place, I can I can start a movement there. Okay, he may or other people may think like that. Okay, but when we go there, what we start doing is when we start doing sense gratification more there, because everyone is everyone is like and in the mood of sense gratification only, and we become merged in that only. Okay, so like that only. So like that only. So when our spiritual master says that you can do that, you can go and do that, then we can do, because we are focused. The spiritual master has given us the instruction and we are focused in that instruction. That's why we are doing. That is a different kind of thing. But when we do for our sense gratification, giving the name of devotion, we give the name of devotion that we want to do this because we will be more in the devotion, then that is a Maya. Okay. Otherwise, whatever little things are there, that is the individualized thing. Okay. For that, individual guidance will be needed. Not like everyone can be generalized with that. Some people, some people is little bit only they can be satisfied, or some people which are higher, which are having high qualification, they can have little bit more so that they can preach to others. Okay, so like that. So it is based on the spiritual master's guidance or the senior disciples guidance. So it is always best to practice devotion under the guidance of a senior devotee. Okay, that is the best thing. Best thing is that a pure devotee, if you can find a pure devotee and you are practicing your devotional life under that authority, then that is the best thing. Okay, so in ISKCON there is concept of authority is also there. So it is very much. So if you see the ISKCON now, ISKCON is like many days has happened, and now ISKCON is little bit more organized. Okay, so if you see ISKCON, there is concept of practicing devotion under certain authority. Okay, so authority. So for us, the authority is Namanishta Das Prabhu. Okay, so Namanishta Das Prabhu will be guiding in all the day-to-day activity, and if you are practicing under him, then we can ask him directly that these things are there, that is the problem, that what we should do. Okay, so he will guide us. So it is best to practice the devotion under certain authority. Okay, if pure devotee you can find, they will guide you what to do, what not to do. So that is the thing. So that is one thing. Otherwise, when we start thinking, and otherwise little bit thing is also enough for us. But when we start thinking, we may think that we need these things so that we can serve better. We need these things so that we may serve better. Actually, we need nothing to serve better. Okay, whatever things Krishna has given, that is enough for serving. Okay, so that is the thing. So it is better to practice under a authority so that we can understand what is best for us. Okay. Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the beautiful explanation, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Do we have any question? Otherwise, we'll end the session. Okay, we don't have. So we'll end the session. Vanchakalpatarubhascha kripa sindhubha vevicha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Anand Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare
So
Krishna.
I hope you are following the 4 regulative principle. I hope now you are a little bit more firm in your devotion. I hope you are reading the books nicely, you are understanding the concept nicely, and you are applying it in your life. Okay. I hope all these things are happening because you are regularly coming to the classes, you are regularly attending the classes. I hope these changes will happen gradually.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the class. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Chalo, we'll end the session. We'll meet next
Hare
week.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
So there is festival happening. Okay. So like in Mayapur, if you see that the Narasimha wing is opening now. So anyone, if you want to come, they can come.
When is it, Prabhuji?
From 29th, from today